Welcome to your Monday, March 3rd Power Hour meeting with Katelyn, Carly, and Clare Fulton. Finally, March.
Oof,
It's someone special's birthday today as well.
Happy birthday, Sanic.
Happy birthday, Sanic.
Having a birthday on a Monday, I wouldn't even be here on my birthday, so you can already tell the difference between the two of us.
What is that, Michael Stewart?
Oh, Michael Stewart.
Look at all these new faces.
He's an award-winning one. He went to 2 award events last week. He's super motivated now.
We even got Robert here.
Did everyone have a good time on Wednesday? How was Wednesday? Excellent. We had Ben. Everyone liked Ben. What did we think of Ben's presentation?
I like it.
You liked it? Seeing nods. Anyone use it in their scripting when talking to clients this past weekend? Or in general?
What was
Alex,
the best one you got out of it? Talking point.
What'd you use this weekend? Mortgage rates going down because they have to. There's a lot of pressure for that to happen. Yeah? Vila, yeah? You liked it? Or you're agreeing?
Oh, just saying. I liked was it 10 to 20% increase in sales prediction?
Yes.
That was a good, positive prediction he had for us.
Yeah.
He gave us some negative and then
That's okay.
gave us the positive.
Yeah. Also, I have his notes too, so I'll summarize it in a little bit as well. But
Perfect.
yeah. How was the week? Anyone run any open houses? Did you do open house in Innisfil? You're done open housing?
Weekend.
Yeah.
We dropped the price 50,000.
Okay,
still.
that helps.
No action.
Yeah. Innisfil's a different market, eh?
Still slow.
A little slow.
We met with a client in Ajax, and her first comment to us was, "Oh, my friends are telling me the market's really bad." And we're like, "What? What are you talking about? This is Ajax. Ajax is pretty good." And she goes, "Well, yeah, she lives in Wasaga Beach, and she said there's so much snow that no one's getting showings, no one's going." I'm like, "Well, Wasaga Beach is a totally different market than Durham, right? So Innisfil, North, it's every pocket's a little bit different." So,
Yeah.
yeah.
What was that one in Pickering? And it seemed like constant.
You went to one, right? Yeah.
But there was a constant.
Pickering seems to be in a few price points seems to be pretty quick right now. Even in the 1.2 mil range, they seem to be bidding wars are coming back or offer nights are here.
So these guys weren't actually even doing an offer.
48 hours, right?
We were only there for like 15 minutes, and there was probably 7 groups there.
Yeah.
And there's I think they did the 48-hour trick.
Okay.
They did get an offer.
Yeah.
But I actually think it's lower.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Anyone else competing with buyers? Yeah. What price point? Durham? Yeah.
Oh yeah, Robert
That's a
has.
hot spot right now. Under a mil in Durham.
Yeah, I know Robert's been trying bully offers too. We're trying everything. Trying bully, coming back on the night, trying everything we can do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
Got a call this morning from an agent that's got an offer date tomorrow, and he's got an bully offer today. So the question was, what does he do, right? So I just have to remind people what have to do. So on the listing it says that offers tomorrow, but he's got a bully offer today. He wants to entertain it.
Can he?
What's the rules?
Okay.
Yeah, so change MLS, call everyone who's shown it, call future showings as well.
Yep.
How much time do you have to give them?
As much as possible.
Yeah, there's no hard black and white rule, so it's as much time as someone would need to talk to their clients and prepare an offer.
So just to make sure, just want to make sure everybody's clear, right? So I see some people still putting in that the seller will accept preempted offers.
Without notice.
Sometimes they say anytime, sometimes without notice, but it's completely against the rules. You cannot do that, right? So what this agent has to do in our case, he has to tell everybody that, by the way, the seller's changed. Actually, he's got to do 2 things. He's got to go to 3 things. He's got to look at the offer number 1. Is the offer any good? If the offer's no good, then don't waste any time with anybody. You follow me there? So if you got $1 million listing and the guys can give you a bully offer for $800,000, you're gonna change the offer date and everything else for that type of offer? No, you're not. So you can look at the offer first, right? And then if your seller decides, hey, I want to look at this offer, then you got to go back and what? You got to change MLS. You got to take off that offer date tomorrow. You got to take that off MLS number 1. All right. Number 2, you got to contact everybody through broker bay. It's okay I'd rather them have in writing. You got something in writing. You can't just phone them and say, oh, by the way, you're gonna have to let everybody know through broker bay. Sellers changed the time. Offer date is X. So you got to make sure you do that. In this particular case I'm talking about, it's also multiple rep. So it's not their own deal, but it's another office. It's another agent from the office. It's put a bully offer on this listing here. So we also have to tell the people, oh, by the way, it's a multiple rep as well. Do you have to tell anything? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they're going to reduce commission, but you have to tell everybody. So there's 3 things. So just make sure that this is a good thing to talk about. This is I'm aware now. Last week there's a bunch of people that won in multiple offers, a bunch of people that lost in multiple offers. Now this one here is going on, so that tells me that the market is picking up. Just so you know.
Yeah.
Looking at Nelson here. Nelson was away last week, so you're not really sure. But I have a feeling that the market is we're in the spring market right now, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Once we know what's going on tomorrow, I don't want to talk about tomorrow, but anyways, once we know what's going on tomorrow, then I think everybody will just move forward and get going. I think that's holding a lot of people back, but I am seeing the market pick up. So.
Yep. Erin online is saying too, she said 2 offer presentations though, but both came in lower than expected. So one did sell conditional, one they relisted. So that happens
We're
too.
seeing that.
Yeah, it's all strategy and just testing out the market as well.
Yeah. And I think that's the going rate too. You got a lot of sellers out there that still think that their prices are back in 2022 and or 2021, and they're not, right? So
Yeah. No.
And we are getting that question too. We've got some agents that have listings that are sitting, and the clients are saying, well, why is it sitting? And we keep telling them like 99% of the time, it's because
It's your picture. It's your picture for sure.
It's definitely that
the
cover
first
photo and
Yep.
the description.
It's the description. It's their second sentence. Yep. That's
Yeah.
why it's not selling.
That
Got
was-
to change the wording. No.
Big sarcasm. It's always price, guys. So even when we had him look back at like the previous ones, he was comparing it to the ones that are currently sitting on the market as opposed as what has sold. And that's a big mistake that a lot of agents will do when they have listings is, well, the neighbors are listed at that price, but they're not selling either. So it is price at the end of the day when your clients are against you. That's the main solution is drop the price.
Yeah, like even if you think like we've heard the comment, well, it's market value. Well, it's not market value because the market is driven by what buyers are willing to pay for it at any given time. And if no one's buying it or making an offer, we know it's just the price. I promise you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not personal. It's just what the market's doing.
and also make sure that you're on the client side, right?
Exactly.
You don't want the client sitting across the table and you guys are debating back and forth what's going on there. You know how those debates can go sometimes.
Yeah.
You want to get on the same side. You're together. I agree with you. You want
Yes,
the same
I wish
thing.
I could buy it for this price, but I'm not in the market for it.
I agree. The market is horrible. Your property's worth $1.5 million if it's worth $1, right? But unfortunately, the buyers don't agree with us,
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't.
Exactly.
right? But you don't want
You don't want to be against them.
But you're not against them. You're not going to say your house is worth 1.5 is blah blah blah, right? You want to get on their side.
Yeah.
The other challenge too is motivation. If your seller doesn't have really the right true motivation, like we'll say, well, where are they going? What are they doing? They're not going anywhere. They didn't buy anything. They're just testing the market. It's not going to work either. You're not just going to get your price because you've asked for it and you've been patient and you're going to wait. Like you have to have a little bit of skin in the game. You've got to have a goal or motivation or.
I'm going to be talking about that. That's what I'm going to talk about at the end is about how to find out if they're motivated and figure that out.
If they're not,
So we'll talk about
it's
that.
an endless battle. Yeah, for sure. Well, do you want to just jump right into?
Yeah, let's go back to Ben.
That
That guy that did the economics. What else did he say? Did anybody pick up any points on what he was saying?
I'm never gonna get worse.
He said that?
Well, his first.
I didn't hear that.
Alex is like on it.
I thought it was a positive move. I mean, the guy said that, and he's right. There's okay. I hate to talk. I'll have to.
Don't say the word.
I'm not gonna say the word, but
Gonna
I'm
demonetize
just kidding.
us.
We won't boost this one. Don't worry. You can
Tomorrow.
say whatever you want.
he said that he doesn't expect that there's going to be a 25% tariff. He thinks that the guy that's pulling the strings is a guy named Howard Lunick, some other guy who's not. It's not Trump. It's some guy's whispered his ear. There's two guys
There
out
it
there.
is. It's okay.
Lutnick.
Howard Lunick. He's the one that's calling the shots, and he's this morning telling everybody. And this is why I don't like what the other guy's doing, because he says things and it's two-faced. He says things, but it's not the truth. So when they said, don't listen to what they have to say, listen to what they do. Mm-hmm. So the Canadian government has stopped negotiating with these guys. They're just going to wait to see what they're going to do, because you can't negotiate with a moving target, right? There's a moving target. But this guy here is saying that if it's going to be anything, it might be 10%. And apparently Mexico this morning or yesterday made a commitment to charge 10% tariff on Chinese imports to Mexico. And then by doing that, Trump has said, okay, I guess we don't have to do 25% on you, we'll do 10% on you. So now they're just waiting for Canada, I guess, to do a similar thing, right? So as we speak, the whole thing's up, down. It's not solid until tomorrow we know what the hell is going on. But even then, he'll probably say, and I hope he doesn't do it. Hope he either does it or doesn't do it. But he may say, Well, wait another 30
I was going to
days.
say, I hope it doesn't extend it again. Another 30 days.
If it extends another 30 days, it's
More
it's going
uncertainty.
to kill
This
us,
is what
right?
Ben was talking about. The theme is uncertainty, right? Like every
That's
time
right.
we feel like we get a step forward, then something else happens, and it's another 30 days, and it's just uncertain. It's nothing.
The uncertainty
it's
is the
just
biggest thing
uncertainty.
that I think our buyers are waiting
Yeah.
for too. I think the buyers they want certainty. If it's 25%, hit us in the face,
Yeah,
make it
just let
happen,
us know.
and we'll deal with it. If it's 10%, make that happen. If it's nothing like that, happen. But make a decision, right?
Yeah.
So just going around what he's doing here just isn't helping anybody. Right?
No.
If 10% is a lot, it's not.
But you know, as long as we know, we can deal with it. We can rebudget. We will, redo your shopping habits. Something will change, but at least you have the information. You know what to do, right?
So it's a weird thing. Okay, so this is a joke I'm going to it's a joke I'm going to give here, but I'm not sure if you understand what I'm saying here. So at Christmas, I'll give $10,000 to this one here for Christmas, cash.
Wow.
And what she'll do, she'll give her sister $10,000, and the sister will give me $10,000. We're all even.
Everyone is
What a nice family we are.
Everybody's happy. You understand what I'm saying? So if we do 10%, they do 10%, they do 10%.
It's all equal.
We're all equal anyway. So it goes back to nothing.
Yeah.
So why bother doing the whole thing in the first place? Who knows? Right?
Clare for Prime Minister.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
So out of the uncertainty, though, where Ben was trying to make it a little bit more positive, there's a theme of divergence coming, right? So there's different trends that are going to happen now in our market. So one of the trends was the rental versus the resale market, which I like. We do a lot of rentals, more than we'd like to say. We don't need to be doing rentals all the time, but that might turn into people actually looking to the resale market to buy. And the reason that they're going to be buying is because there's going to be a shortage in both new construction starts for condos and single family residences, which is one of the most popular and most demand pieces of property right now. So that's going to be a really good opportunity for all of you in your resale market, right? They didn't say condos were going to go down, but they said the number of starts was almost nothing. And that's going to put pressure on your resale condos when they come back to the market. So I thought it was good. I think he ended up being pretty positive, at least for
I
real
thought it was
estate
a
agents.
positive presentation. So.
Yeah, it
Me
was.
too.
Yeah.
He just had to give us the hard before he gave it.
So let me just give my numbers here, and then you guys can do your thing there. So we've got right now about 20,500 active listings, 10,600 are freeholds, 9,700 are condos. The sales for February. So all of February. And these are my numbers. These numbers are going to change. Trib does different numbers than I do, but I just do fast numbers. We've got last February we had 5,547 sales. We had 29 days last February, by the way, and this February we only had 28 days, so we lost a day. But in any case, we had 4,082 sales this February. So sales are going to come in around 25%, 26% less than last year. Freeholds will be about the same, about minus 27%, and condos are minus 25%. So it's down about 25% from February last year. But as we said before, February last year is long gone. It's a long time ago. Let's compare it to January rather than February. That makes more sense. And if we compare the numbers to January, our sales are actually up 9%. February sales are up 9% from January, even though January had 31 days and February had 28 days. So
That's a good thing.
You follow what I'm saying there?
Positive.
So we did about 146 sales per day overall. 89 sales were freeholds, 57 were condos. So the market, as I said, I'm seeing things pick up. Even though it might seem doom and gloom out there, I'm starting to see some activity. I'm starting to see it happen. Not pricing. Pricing, I believe, hopefully it goes down. Hate to say it there, but I'd like to see pricing go down and make it more affordable for more people.
Yeah.
But in any case, there we are. Months of inventory. The fellow here today talked about absorption rates. Absorption rates, months of inventory, call it what you want. Right now, overall, it's 5 to 1. So for every 5 listings, there's 1 sale. If you break it down to condos, freeholds were 4.3. So there's 1 sale for every 4.3 listings. And we've always said that 4 is about the break-even mark. The Americans think 5 or 6 is the break-even, but I think 4. So anything above 4 would be a buyer's market, below 4 would be a seller's market. So it's 4.3, so it's kind of right. It's kind of
balanced.
It's balanced. It's kind of there, right? Condos. The month of inventory for condos is 6.1 listings per 1 sale. So that tells us it's a buyer's market. Anybody have any condos sitting there doing nothing?
Yes.
Yeah, I know for sure they do.
Right? Nobody here?
No,
Even condo towns.
I know they're online.
I'm talking about condos, apartments, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, so it's there. If I take my leases, the leases are 17,000. Now everybody's telling me that the lease prices have dropped, right? The leasing's dropped.
We've been hearing, yeah.
Anybody here concur? Not concur?
Yeah.
Right. And what would you think the drop? Like $100, $500,
I've seen it drop $200 from
$200 a month
From
Okay.
October.
from October. Okay. Because my numbers here are weird. We've got 17,000 leases. So we sold 5,000 we leased 5,000 last year, 5,000 this year. So it's about the same. It's actually up 1%. Leases for freeholds are down 9%. Leases for condominiums are up 7%. So even though everybody says that the lease market for condos, for instance, isn't doing as good, it's actually doing good. Just the prices are too high.
Yeah.
And it goes back to the other thing. So if it's not selling, then the only tool you have is price,
Yeah, it works the same for leases too.
right? Same
Yeah.
for leases as well, but it's 6-to-1 ratio. So I thought that was interesting there. So the market, as I said, it's not booming, but it's not dying. And we'll know better. We'll know better this week exactly where we stand on the economy side. Good.
You keep going.
Keep going. Okay, so I just talked about this Lick Dick guy here talking about the thing. He says Canada and Mexico may not face full 25% tariffs as deadline nears. Every day, it's a new day, it's a new story, right? So we don't know. Elections. We had their elections. Any surprise on the elections? Or were you going to talk about that?
We're
No,
just
no, I
laughing at the
wasn't.
way you say names.
No, that was correct actually though.
What did I say?
But no, you actually said it correctly. It's
fine.
Nick, yeah.
Lit Nick.
Well, there's a you.
Yeah.
you
What did I say
like it.
before?
I think you said it a little different, but it's okay.
We'll have to go back to the recording and see what I said. Any surprises on the provincial election?
Yeah, what about,
No surprises?
Any surprises?
no surprise.
Everybody's.
Surprise, Bonnie lost.
I'm not surprised she lost at all. Because my friend before told me that she's not going to go anywhere, and she didn't. So
No, I'm surprised that she lost.
Did they tell the percentage of voters this year? I remember last time it was 44. Oh, it went to 46. So there's still a huge chunk of people that didn't vote.
Liberal voting leading, like a PC Liberal, then NDP, the Liberals way behind NDP.
People are mad.
It's okay. The Green Party got 2 seats though.
So we have the same problem up here that we do in the States, right? I think the Liberals got more votes, but they got less seats.
Right.
So doesn't mean, I don't know, whatever that means. So is anybody unhappy with that decision?
They're not gonna. That's a hard
No
question to
one's
ask
gonna
people
put
in
their
public.
hand
Yeah.
Somebody said don't talk about
Don't talk about
don't
politics.
talk about politics.
So, currently,
Anyways, doesn't really matter. We got him for another 4 years, right?
now who knows, in 2 years later, he said, only $190 billion. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy. The other guy in the States is Peter Navarro. If anybody wants to, Navarro. He's got a lot of influence on Trump as well. If anybody knows.
Sure.
Yeah. He's the one that wrote the. I don't know. It seems like he wrote the mandate that Trump's following right now.
Did anyone take our advice and reach out to clients who bought in 2020 who are renewing mortgages this year? Anyone have any clients who are not able to renew mortgages that you know are going to be trying to sell? No, because we know that they're predicting 1.2 million mortgages are up for renewal this year. The stats are coming in as they predicted. So right now, about 50% higher than pre-pandemic levels. So more than 11,000 mortgages have missed one payment or more as of last quarter. So we know it's coming in. The advice that they're giving us is a couple things. So one is to talk to your mortgage lender 6 months in advance of your renewal. So don't wait right up until the month that you're renewing. So if you're renewing in May, June, you're going to be having that conversation like a couple months ago to start getting ahead of that. Some people are even suggesting getting a pre-approval that will last 120 days, seeing how that ends up being in 120 days. You can either keep that mortgage that you locked into or renegotiate something else if it's even better at the time, but start doing something now because we don't know what rates are going to do. But just getting ahead of it. If you have clients that have missed payments, again, don't hide from your lender. They probably are sending them letters already, notifying them. So the message is don't hide from them, start negotiating, start working that out right now. But for sure, if you have clients that bought 2020 and they're renewing now this year, they're going to be hit with either a bigger mortgage or they're going to be looking to sell and do something. So we're advising you to reach out to your database of anyone that bought in that time to see how you can help them, introduce them to Varan or a mortgage broker, and see what you can do to help. But the people are renewing right now and they're coming in really hot. There's a lot of them.
And if you need help, go email Heather or Paige to get your 2020 client list if you don't have your database in line, but that's where you guys can go.
We did a mail out to all our 2020 people, and I was kind of surprised. Some of them came back a little more positive than I thought, saying we're actually going to refinance and look into buying a secondary property. So I've got some that are looking into refinancing that, looking into buying a cottage or some sort of like recreational or investment property. So it might not be negative. Maybe they're in an okay situation. They had a good job. They saved their money. They're going to redo their budget for the new rates, and maybe they're in an okay position to do something else too. So
but even if they're not, their family or friends may be in a position to do something as well. So while you have them, then they could be like, actually, I'm not, but my grandma's thinking about doing something, or my parents. So those little conversations may lead into something else. It's not a scary conversation either. All we did was a quick email to all the 2020 people, just said, hey, your mortgage renewal may be up. If you have any questions, let us know. Like, it wasn't like a call me if you want to sell your house. It was just like, hey, your mortgage renewal might be coming up. It's 5 years, and we had a good response from that email. Just an email. Took maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah, lots of advice to you. And lenders are negotiating right now, right? So they don't have to stay with their current lender either. They might want to negotiate and have a broker do that for them too and get an even better rate. So. The average salary in Ontario is rising. Are you surprised by that? Ben talked a little bit about that as well.
It needs to.
Yeah, it is rising. But surprisingly, there are some provinces outside of Ontario that earn the most amount of money. So in Ontario right now, it's about $70,000 per year. That's sort of average salary. Can you guess what provinces might be more than that?
Calgary is higher.
Calgary is actually almost in line with Ontario right now. But you know who are really high?
Is this household?
True. This is wage.
income?
Just salary.
Salary.
Not
Straight up
household
salary.
salary or individual?
Individual salary. One individual salary. So the highest is actually your Northwest Territories.
It's because no one wants to go there.
About-
They got to pay you to go there.
You know why?
We got 79 jobs.
That's part of it. It's demand, but it's also the cost of living is much higher in those areas because everything is imported there, right?
Yeah.
So Northwest Territories is about $95,000 per year compared to our Ontario, like I said, $70,000, and none of it and Yukon are among the top 3 of the highest wages in Canada. But it's offset because of the cost of living in those areas as well. It's even more higher than here. That's right. But yeah, if you're looking for a higher salary, you could move up to the territory.
Not to be bad, but they're probably all government workers.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they need.
They do have a Home Depot.
Maybe.
Do they have a Costco?
Imagine
Costco?
you get paid $100 grand to work at Costco.
Maybe I'll go.
Why not?
I read years ago it was cheaper for them to order from Amazon than it was to Home Depot because they had it delivered and it got the cheap price.
Oh, wow. That makes sense. Transportation and warehouse are among the sectors that are growing the most, and then sectors like retail and service-oriented sectors are actually going down for salary-wise. So just information for you to note if you're talking to your clients as well. I don't know if anyone's moving to the Yukon. Food's expensive. Everything's expensive there. This is an interesting one. Do you consider yourself a millionaire if you own a house in the GTA? They did a survey. Do you consider, if you don't own a house, probably you know average price is over $1 million, right? So would you consider yourself a millionaire if you owned a house?
No,
Depends on how much equity you got. Yeah.
Equity? So it's not just about owning the house, right? They did a little survey. Yeah, I mean, accounting wise, yes, and on paper you're a millionaire because you've got some equity. You take that, you know, what it's worth minus your mortgage, you probably could be a millionaire, but true millionaire status is more related to your assets and overall liquid cash as well. So what else you have in investments and liquid cash and savings, and the house is just one part of that as well. So you're not a millionaire if you own just a house, but you could be a millionaire if you have assets and other liquid cash as well. It's true, and then you become a millionaire, right?
What's that?
Oh, man, India's getting expensive.
India's expensive too.
Don't think it's for jokes.
You can do it.
You can do that.
You want me to do this one? So we talked a lot about the condo market. Ben kind of solidified that, the fact that we have the fewest amount of starts this year, like it's 40-year record-breaking low. The silver lining to that is purpose-built rentals. And Claire's talked about this before. This is not new. I think this is always the trend when the market is like this and developers are looking to make ROI on their buildings. But in a market like this where either the building is not selling at all or they have leftover inventory. A lot of builders are taking the leftover inventory and turning that right into rentals. So instead of trying to offset the 30 units, let's say they have left, they're turning it right into a straight rental, which is beneficial for the developer because our rent prices are high. And it's working out for them. A lot of them are just doing the rentals for a couple of years until the market turns around, then they'll try to sell them again. Some developers are turning the entire whole project into a purpose-built rental. I thought it was interesting that Daniels turned about 30 of their units. This was at Keelsdale. Do you remember that project at Keel in Dufferin? It was right near the Keeley as well. So they didn't sell out, but they took a percentage of the units and made them into rentals. And then they took it one step further, and they actually have a program targeted to those tenants to help them buy the unit that they're in or another unit available, which is kind of interesting. So maybe we'll see more developers sort of doing that. But I think that is kind of interesting to know that you could be a tenant and maybe it's not a rent to own situation, but it's just a program to help them understand the cost and that they could buy into that particular project. But I thought that was a good idea, and maybe they'll see more people doing that as well. But about 400 homes have been purchased with a few dozen available to rent. So people are still buying, but then they're keeping a subcategory of rentals as well.
I noticed in Pickering, for instance, there's one right at Whites Road and Highway 2. It's a purpose-built rental.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just driving here in Scarborough here last week, I guess, along Finch. I want to say, where's the Red Lobster? Finch and Warden?
Shepherd.
Yeah, Shepherd.
I thought this was Finch, though. Anyways, okay. I want to say...
We were just there on Saturday, so...
Anyway, so there's another giant building, another condo anyways, built off Finch, I thought. And I thought it was a new condo being built there, I think. Was there a Ford dealership there or something?
Yeah,
or?
it was a Ford.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be a senior.
And I got a big for lease sign out in front of it now. Like the whole building's for lease. Like they're all rented out. It's not condo.
On the
It's on the north
south
side.
On the north side?
North side. North side is a white. It's a,
I'm sorry, where is
no, it's on Finch. I think it's at
okay.
Finch and Warden, maybe Finch and somewhere around
So it's
there.
all for lease and all rentals.
East of what? It was
West of Ward and
Shepherd.
Okay, then whatever one. So it's like a white building. It's like a Shepherd. I thought it was, doesn't really matter anyway. So the point is that these guys are not selling them as condos. They're just going straight out rentals.
Yeah.
And why they're doing it here is that to build a condo building, they have to get 20 or 30% of their own money. Then they have to get the rest of the 80% through pre-construction pre-sales. Whereas if it's going to be a purpose-built rental, they can finance the entire building.
Yeah, 100% of it.
100% of the finance. So that's why the developers are doing that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Rather than losing money, they're doing that.
And you've seen this before, right? Historically.
I mean, everybody. Okay, again, keep on talking about Durham there, but remember, there's a little pocket at Bailey and I
Highway.
want to say Sandy Beach, Lebovic. What's the next street? Sandy Beach. Anyways, those were little semis and towns, whatever else at Salk and Marjoram and those places there, and they're all rent own, right?
Yeah.
So it's nothing new, right?
Yeah. So at least they can pivot and do something else, right? The program at Daniels, so they allow renters to accumulate $500, they call it HIP dollars a month, for up to $25,000 to put towards the purchase of a Daniels built home. So I think that's kind of nice that they're trying to help affordability as well.
Toronto new home market, is it now the time to buy?
Yesterday.
Yes.
the builders are adjusting the price according to the market.
All right. Builders, the sales are down like 90%
He's
or
saying
something. Right?
houses in general, not just, new home market.
Yeah, the new home market. Yeah,
Yeah.
new market is, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's a new project, very good, Marshall Home.
Yeah. We sent that one out too, starting the 500s as well. But it's all, feedback I got is outdoor parking.
Where is it?
But in the-
Yeah, at
There's
Altona.
a drawback. Except the basement, other 3 units, parking here, entrance you have to go around.
Yeah. Yeah. So the price point is right for that, which is good.
You can beat that.
Yeah. No. I got a question on the weekend. He was looking for single family, detached, double car garage, your cookie cutter little house in Durham. He goes, Carl, I can't find anything. I've looked online. I'm looking on Livable. And I'm like, yeah, they're not selling right now. They're not starting those type of houses. And that's the most demand house right now. So I am seeing like towns and I'm seeing single family in like rural kind of areas, but not in our Durham GTA kind of pockets. And that's why Ben was saying the resale market is going to pick up. And that's why if you've got buyers who are looking for a single family traditional type house, it's going to be in the resale market that they're going to find it. And now would be the time to do something. Yeah.
This article here says that why is the assignment market booming right now?
Who says booming? Do they have stats on
That's
it?
what I was trying to say who wrote this.
Yeah.
Yeah, where'd they get the stats?
Because I think we have assignments, right? You guys have assignments that you're trying to advertise to each other. You stopped taking them. Yeah, I know. I used to consult, someone said, I got an assignment listing. And I said, oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
So
Yeah,
there
it's
are
hard to market
there are
it,
some
too.
bargains out there, right?
Oh,
Where
for sure there is.
some owners
Yeah.
are giving up their full 20% deposit. Just take over my contract. You can't take my deposit.
That is okay. But most people are not.
A lot of people want their profit and want their deposit back and everything else. Those guys there, you don't bother with those guys. But the
No.
guys that are pricing it right and are truly desperate, there are bargains out there for
They
people that
didn't
get it.
give deposit back. For example, I have a client bought in Oshawa
Yep.
for 1.5. Deposit $150,000.
Yep.
Still no work. He can buy that same house for 1.25.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is he prepared to give up his deposit?
He's willing to give a deposit, but still
Still too high, right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
Still have to pay commission.
And then if they're condos, you forget about occupancy fees. So I've gotten calls about assignments. Oh, this is a great assignment. He's going to give up his deposits. I'm like, yeah, but does he know the occupancy fee and what floor are they on? And they'll say, oh, it's the 5th floor of a 50-floor tower. And I said, okay, cool. They're going to have occupancies for the next year. And those could be like $4,000 to $5,000 a month. Like crazy high. It's not just like your utilities hookup costs. You're paying interest on their loan, whatever that is.
And they
Yeah.
charge 7%.
Yeah. I have not heard anyone being able to negotiate. I've heard like really harsh sort of like anything that they can charge, they're charging you for.
Universal Tower occupancy within 2 months.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. So people get all excited about this assignment opportunity, and then you remind them of the occupancy fees that they're going to have from 6 months to a year, and then it takes away any opportunity that they had. So you have to be really careful still. I don't think you can.
One person negotiates it, and then
Yeah.
everyone else in the building's going to negotiate it.
It's true.
So the best you can do is get like a credit on closing.
Yeah.
They're not going to make concessions for one person.
No, and if they do, they're going to be sneaky, and they're going to say, don't advertise this. It's just going to be for you.
Did you tell a story of how someone paid cash so they didn't have to pay the occupancy if they had something?
yeah, I know. Yeah, I was told of a client that didn't want a mortgage, didn't need a mortgage, paid all cash, and they said, I'm going to pay you occupancy. I said, I'm not paying occupancy. He just paid in full amount.
No, but they won't take cash. Some builder won't
I
take
shouldn't say cash. He was a check, right? So.
Yeah. It's not a briefcase of cash. It's a bank draft.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, every builder is different, right? I think this builder was either Daniels or Tridel that they took the money and didn't charge the occupancy fee.
Yeah.
But the other thing about it's too bad, eh? Like you learn, right? So 20 years from now, you guys will have 20 years experience. You're going to know this thing here. So next time we come around to pre-construction, when we did it, we thought we were doing a good job by going with the client and picking a unit, and thought we did good with the client limiting the charges, the surcharges, right? Remember, most people, you cap the development charges. We thought we were doing a good job by capping, but we never even considered capping the occupancy fees.
It's
Right?
true.
We never even considered, yes, you can assign it, but oh, by the way, you can't advertise it. Nobody told us that. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, we're going to give you free parking and we're going to give you upgrades for this particular unit. But if you assign it, those upgrades do not go to the assignor, like the next person, right?
Yeah.
You know, so the guy gets an extra parking spot, he negotiates it, but as soon as he assigns it, that thing disappears.
Yeah.
Wild.
So there's all kinds of things that nobody told us, and here we are today, right? So.
Sometimes you don't take the offer to the lawyer. They'll rip you off because they don't have a fixed, what do you call it?
Yeah, with development charges.
Yeah. Like capped. Yeah.
One of my clients paid $110,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Because they pay whatever the development charges are.
And it's funny how people are. It's human nature. There's nobody's to blame here, but nobody wants to pay $500 to a lawyer to look at an agreement. They'd rather pay $100 million for a condo and take a chance, right?
No. That's
We're all guilty.
No, it's true. So maybe we should be investing in Calgary then. At Wolfberry, they didn't have any development charges or transfer tax or anything, right? They absorb all of that. Calgary's looking pretty good. Yeah.
You know that?
No.
Sorry?
That's good though.
They dropped the price $30,000 this time.
Who did?
Marshall.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I think
it's-
stacked townhouses are struggling too, right? Nobody wants the
Oh, they're already
the
sold.
stairs and the yeah.
There's more than 50% sold.
Yeah. That's good. Interesting.
Craftsman
I don't really have anything else to
I
say.
got some
stuff.
politics. Actually, you guys
Yeah,
want
you
to
go.
talk politics?
Yeah, you talk politics. I don't.
All right.
We don't do that. Or millennials.
What's our interest rates here in Canada right now? Interest rates for a 5-year fix, approximately.
4 and 4.
4.25, 5-year fixed. 4.25, right?
You can even get 4.
The Americans are saying that the average U.S. 30-year mortgage rate falls for the 6th straight week to the lowest level since December, but it's still 6.85%.
But they have 30 years.
They have 30 years,
That's
and
30 years.
yeah,
And
it's no term,
term.
right? It's a 30-year term, so yeah. So that's going on there. What's normal is not normal anymore. I'm realizing that. So what the old establishment believes is normal is never normal. So the whole world's changed. Everything's upside down. What are you talking about? Like your perception? What is that word? The divergence, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Everything's changing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my perspective and my default has changed because of the politics and so on and so forth. For instance, they had that big fight on Friday, right, with their friends down the States there. What I'm seeing there myself is he just wants a deal, doesn't care about anything else. Just stop the war, and that's it. Doesn't care who, what, just stop the war. So I think that's the direction that they're trying to go. The Americans decided that they're going to endorse, so they're going to, I don't know the word I'm using here, but they're going to get involved in cryptocurrency. The government of U.S. I would have thought cryptocurrency was for criminals and stuff, right? Or I know, but now they're getting involved in cryptocurrency.
Like all the criminals here in the audience.
I shouldn't say criminal. I don't know. I don't understand it. Like, isn't there a lot of cryptocurrency that gets paid underneath so nobody can trace it or something? I don't know. I don't know the purpose of it is. I don't know.
I think it's heavily tracked. No.
I don't know.
It takes a lot more.
Yeah.
American economy has to do something. They have it. There's something like $1.2 trillion budget deficit. In other words, they spend $1.2 trillion just on their budget, and their trade deficit. No, sorry, it's $1.8 billion deficit for they're spending more money than they're bringing in just for the day-to-day deficit, and their trade deficit is $1 trillion. So they're actually getting $1 trillion trade deficit. So no wonder they have to do something. Just that the way they're doing it isn't the way that I'd be used to, but that's, as I said, now things have changed, so who knows.
That's what they're charging tariff.
The Americans in the States, have you guys been following that thing in the States about co-op commissions? I'll just make it simple here. They had that lawsuit there, and everybody paid money to, I don't know who paid money. NAR paid money. I think in the States it's different, right? When they have their MLS system, I think it's run by companies separately from MLS. I think you guys all had to pay money. I don't fully know who paid. But anyways, there's a similar suit going on in Canada right now. And RE/MAX, you may have already heard about this, RE/MAX settled already. And the Canadian thing is completely different than the American one, but I think that the RE/MAX Canada got bought out by RE/MAX USA a couple of years ago. So I think that they're not understanding what's in Canada. In Canada, we've got BRAs. In Canada, you can charge any commission you want. There's no price fixing, but that's what the case is. Korea's still fighting it, and Cent 21, I think, I'm not sure if we got removed or what we did. What did Todd say about that? I think we got removed on that.
We got removed. Yeah.
But they're trying to appeal that decision as well. So everything's still up in the air, but RE/MAX pulled the trigger already and decided that let's get ahead of this and do this. So now, this is what the blog is saying. It says here, the Canadians could be eligible for settlement in class action suits. So now they're saying that the public, anybody that bought a house between 2020 and 2025 could be getting money back. So they're going to be sharing some of the $7 million. So RE/MAX got to pay
So just on RE/MAX,
Because RE/MAX settled for $7-ish million.
$7 million. So they're going to take how many houses sold in Canada for those 5 years and divide it by $7 million, and they're
but
going
only
to.
on RE/MAX listings.
No, all
Everything.
Canadian.
I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen, right? But that's what they're saying here. So you guys have to be ready. Not that it's going to happen today or tomorrow, but it could happen where you'll have zero on cooperating commission. So it means the buyer will have to negotiate your own commission. What do you think about that?
But it's not done yet.
How many
It's
people?
not done yet. No, it's not done yet.
But let's say it happened. How many people today would be ready to negotiate their commission on the buyer side?
Ready.
Yeah, ready? I'm asking 2.5% for my commission for all the showings I'm doing.
from the buyer.
So we spend all kinds of time talking about listings and how to get a listing, how to get full commission, do this, talk about that, objection to handling, blah, blah, blah. Now you got to do the whole same thing with a buyer in the future.
Which you kind of do right now.
Which you should do anyways,
Yeah.
because people come to you now and say, so-and-so said he's going to give
That's
me
right.
1% back. So-and-so
right.
is going to give me half back. What are you going to do? So you have to have a presentation anyways to overcome that. So why not get ahead of the game a little bit and start doing that now?
Yeah.
Make sense?
Just to confirm, Remax is American.
Remax is American. Just to make the thing. So Century 21 is also American, but Century 21 Canada is owned by Charwood.
Thank you, and that's a good point.
And Century 21 Canada is completely distinct and separate from Century 21 USA. It's completely different. So
Yes.
there's no connection.
So on that note, they're actually doing a support local campaign for you right now. If you want to post on your social media for anyone that's passionate about making sure you're supporting Canadian local, there's actually social media bricks. Century 21 local company, because we are 100% owned by a Canadian company. So we are in that way Canadian, Century 21 Canada. So they're actually doing a whole program on that.
Follow anything American they do. It doesn't belong to them, so we don't share.
See, that's why I said people that are passionate about supporting Canada, I know they're out there, right?
So
that's
what would
good.
be a parallel? There's a company called A&W, right? Everybody's familiar with A&W. A&W in the States sells root beer. A&W in Canada is a franchise restaurant.
Yeah.
Completely different,
yeah.
even though it's originally American, right?
Yeah.
So
Did you guys know that actually Tim Hortons is also not Canadian? See, right? Because they're all owned by bigger companies. They're owned by a Brazilian company. So there's actually a website I saw today. I think it's madeincanada.com or something like that. And they actually scrub all of the grocery stores, suppliers for truly Canadian products. So if you are someone that's passionate about that, there's a website that's scrubbing it for you. Maybe you have clients that are passionate about it too. You can share it with your clients or social media. But there's a whole website. It's actually second in the search history right now. Just scrubbing everything and telling you what's Canadian and what's not.
You get to stop drinking
Orange juice? Yeah, that's fair.
okay, just one last thing on political thing that I'm done, then Katelyn's going to take over, I guess, right?
Yep.
Bank of Canada already said that if the American government decides to go with this 25 tariff, then they have plans of doing 6 consecutive quarter point interest rate cuts.
That's what Ben was saying anyways, right? Was he not just saying that last
So
week?
2022, maybe we'll come around here. 2021, I should say. Hey, interest go down, then people go crazy again, right?
I hope it doesn't go crazy. But that's what Ben was saying, is that there's so much stuff happening in the world. We have to get interest down. It's the only thing that's going to help everybody. And so he was predicting tons of cuts. Yeah.
That's all it is. That's all
I don't think anybody's ready for 2021. Not realtors, that's for sure. No, we need to have a balanced market. We're not hoping for that again. We talked last week about the new mandatory fields on MLS. So if you were doing your own broker loading, you would have noticed, if you had the girls do it, you would have noticed that they probably asked you for a couple more pieces of information. So the square footage is being pulled automatically as part of the mandatory field, but it is a little bit glitchy. We had a listing for a condo in Scarborough. The square foot wasn't pulling in, but it is still a mandatory field, meaning now you have to actually buy the report for now or measure it or ask your client. In that case, we bought the report for $5. So I think they're in a weird limbo where it's mandatory, but it's not always pulling in for you. So just keep that in mind that it is still mandatory. They also started pulling in things like the property class, whether it's freehold, condo, commercial, and the type, whether it's detached, condo, et cetera. So that will all pull in automatically from the PIN number. They also introduced a whole bunch of new communities, mostly outside of our areas. This is more about their amalgamation of other boards. So you'll see new communities on there. But you remember how they used to have the TREB map? I get this question a lot, where we had the old TREB map that showed you exactly where the communities were and where the lines are.
CO1.
That it
CO2.
still exists if you search for it, but they actually just introduced a new remapped community tool. So it's called PropTX Maps tool. It will allow you to search for an address and show you what community it's part of, because we don't know that off the heart, especially the Toronto areas.
You can do that just through you can do it through filters.
And you could also do it on your search as a layer. You could layer in the communities and maps too. That's what we've been doing up until now, but I think they got so many complaints that they actually just listed a maps tool where you could like go to a thing and search for it interactively.
Do you guys know how to use the filter tool on Realm? Like the layers for the map on Realm? Anyone not know? No one's going to say that.
Just let us know if you need help. I get the question a lot.
you guys-
Like, what community is this? Or
Like
what,
EO1, E10, whatever it is in Toronto, there's a part on Realm. It looks like a little pin. You can just put the address in and it'll put it on the map. And then there's layers that you click it'll say municipality or community, one of
They,
those.
they both. They have two
Community,
different
and it
ones,
will
yeah.
tell you which number it is.
Yeah.
So I've had people print out the map and try to find it on the map.
Yeah.
There's an easier
So
way.
now there's a tools way and the layer
Okay.
way.
That's good.
They had a training last week, which I know we attended as well. I had our girls attend as well. Something I learned that I didn't pick up on was that your listing agreement commencement date needs to be dated for the same day before 11:59 of the next business day, meaning you have 1 day to get it on MLS
Of the commencement.
of the commencement date. We used to say 2 days. We used to say 48 hours. I don't know what exactly when they changed this, but it's been changed to 1 day.
About
Sure.
3 months ago.
About three,
Change-
just
change
this
this
year,
year.
right? So I may have missed that on my education, but yeah, we don't have the 40 hours. It has to be dated for the date that you want to go live, that you want it to show up as day 0. So the girls may give you some pushback. You can sign the listing before, but your commencement date has to be the date it goes on MLS.
We will get the listing re-signed again.
If you want to do that, yeah, you might want to do an exclusive or something up until MLS, but your MLS listing agreement has to be dated commencement date for the day you want it to go live on MLS.
Well, because there's the commencement date and then there's the date that you signed it.
Yeah.
The commencement date is the day that she's talking about, but the date that you signed it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. It's the date the commencement.
So previously the girls might have been a little flexible with like the 2 days. You may have them push back on you a little bit and ask you for a new listing agreement that's dated for the date you want it to go on MLS. And you may see overall the deal admin front desk pushing back a little bit on things that we were a little bit more relaxed on. They have some direction from me to pay attention to dates and information just because of all the complaints we've been seeing. We've been seeing an uptick of RICO and TREB complaints lately. We get almost every day, I think, something now. So they've got tools that are scrubbing your listings and lots of stuff. So you're going to see a little bit, I don't want to say strict, but we're going to call out when there's little mistakes being made. Not to be taken offensive, just want to make sure everything's in line for you and to protect you as well. And I think that's everything compliance-wise. Over to Katelyn then. Ryan Serhant was riveting
whole-
today, wasn't
Yeah, I was disappointed by Ryan Serhant. We tried to switch it up this morning for the coaching to do one of their live sessions. I thought it was going to be good because he was talking about how to communicate market stats basically to your clients, but I didn't realize it was like a Q&A type of coaching session, so it wasn't as organized as I usually like. So we probably won't do the live sessions again. I think we'll go back to me hand selecting which category we do, but he did talk about absorption rate, which I think is a helpful thing that Claire talked about today, which is an important thing to talk about with your clients, but he just did a really bad job at describing it.
He was telling everybody how to do absorption rate or months of intro. You guys know how to do that? You guys, like the stats I give you, do you guys know how to do that yourselves?
No, that's why we come to Monday meetings, so you can tell us what
All right.
it is.
I'm not going to tell you.
So its absorption rate is, I wrote it down too. Where did I write it?
Claire didn't need to write down. He's going to tell you from
Yeah, it's taking the number of homes that sold divided by the total number of homes that are on the market. And that basically just, the absorption rate measures the speed at which available homes are going to be sold in a given market. So it can just help you determine if you're in a buyer's market, seller's market, or balanced market. So when you're talking about stats and you're going to a listing appointment, you can tell them, okay, yep, your neighborhood's in a seller's market. Nope, your neighborhood's in a buyer's market. And then that will help them figure out how many days on market they should expect as well, right? So that's kind of, I think, where he was going with that, but it kind of got a little disorganized. Something else Carly was talking about at the beginning of the session, which kind of went in with the article that I did find, was figuring out what your client's motivation is. And that's a really important thing for us that we don't pay attention to, especially if you're working with online leads, especially tenants. Maybe you've got listings, you're getting sign calls and stuff from buyers that say you have to show me this house because I'm not working with a realtor, and then you're trying to determine if you want to take this person out or if you want to go on that listing appointment. Really figuring out what the motivation is going to be really important, especially in today's market. And if you're not asking these questions, you are leaving deals on the table. So in today's market, fewer people are actually jumping in early, which we've determined. Figuring out people's motivation is not high right now to go buy a house, but there are a few different trends to consider. For example, the first-time homebuyer age increased from 28 to 38 years old now. Repeat homebuyers used to be 42 years of age. Now people are repeat buying at 61 years old.
Interesting.
Yeah, 17 or more homeowners are locked into the low rates, but people are still moving. So 17.2% of homeowners now have a mortgage rate above 6%. So this is an American article, double the percentage from 2 years ago. So what's driving the market, and we talked about this at last week's meeting, is life changes. So we're not really seeing a motivation for investors right now, but more for people that have life changes happening. So people aren't just moving on a whim, they're actually moving because they have to. So they talked about the Ds. There's Ds that signal motivation, and these are basically clients that are experiencing major life events. So diapers is one, a growing family that needs more space for their kids.
So pay attention on your Instagram. People that are posting like pregnancy announcements, gender reveals, you know, that kind of stuff. They're going to be looking to buy something.
Exactly. Death, estate sales and family transitions are creating selling urgency. Diamonds, so engagements and marriages often mean buying a home. Divorce leads to property sales or buyouts.
So if you don't see them posting their spouse as often as they used to, there might be separation, divorce coming in.
Degrees and diplomas. So empty nesters or downsizing once the kids move out and go to university, or when the kids are done university. Default.
Are we seeing that in Canada?
No, you guys keep staying in.
Yeah, you guys keep staying in your homes. Get out. You guys have these beautiful homes at...
No, but I think the kids are graduating and moving back home.
They're moving back home till they're 30. They're 38 now.
Yeah, no, I think they're liking it. They're saving their money.
Yeah.
They're going to live with mom and dad.
Returned to London, Ontario, gave up the job,
There you go.
married.
We weren't allowed to do that. They're like, you're done school, bye.
See ya.
You're an adult now.
The other D's, default, so financial strain forcing homeowners to sell. Dogs, so pet owners looking for yards. And relocation. So they said this one doesn't start with a D, but the job changes often require a move. So if these people have one of these things, they have a higher chance of moving. So if they're just saying, oh, if the price is right, that's not a motivation, that's just there. But if they've got some sort of life urgency or life change, those are the people that we're looking for right now. So there's 3 questions that can help you guys identify these types of motivations. So if you're looking to work with buyers, and maybe you got a sign call on one of your listings, or one of your friends, family, someone sends you a property to take a look at. So a question to ask them is, what got you excited about looking at this home? So instead of saying, most of us say, what motivated you to call me? How'd you find me? Instead of doing that, say, what got you excited looking at this home? And why it works is because it keeps the conversation positive and forward thinking. But it's also what you're going to be listening for is one of those D's that we just talked about. So maybe they said, oh, this house has a space for the baby. Maybe they're moving a job. They need a yard for change their job, need a yard for their dog. Those are good indications that this house is something that is interested for them and where they are at in their life. If they're just saying, oh, I'm a neighbor, just curious to know what it looks like, that's not a motivation. Don't waste your time. Don't take them to go see it. Maybe there's an open house that you can direct them to. If you're looking to see the motivation for a seller, so someone calls you to come take a look at their property, to put it on the market, before you go there, ask them, where are you thinking about moving? So if they got a house to sell, ask them, okay, well, if you're going to sell, where are you going? And if they don't have a clear reason, they're likely not ready yet. So why that question works is because it forces them to articulate why they're moving. So what questions you want to listen for are, we're thinking about selling our home because we're downsizing. I'm moving to the cottage. I'm relocating here because so-and-so got a job. Or I'm relocating here because my kids have kids now and I want to be closer to the grandkids. Financial strain. So anything that signals some sort of urgency, these are likely a more motivated seller. If it's someone that says, oh, I'm just curious, that's a sign that they're not motivated. And we've all been there, right? When you have those listing appointments, like, oh no, I'm trying to move to the cottage, trying to move closer to the kids. Those people are moving. They're not just joking. It may not be right away, but those people have a goal right now and they're trying to get to it. If it's someone that's doing both buy and sell, what you can ask them is, what will that do for you? So it is an open-ended question, but if they struggle to answer, they may not be serious as well. So if you're asking, what will that do for you? And they're looking to buy and sell, it reveals their emotional motivation and why they need to make a move now. If it is vague, say, tell me more about that. And then let them tell you why they're thinking about moving and selling. Because sometimes they're divorce situations and it's like the husband calling and he doesn't want to tell you about it, but like you can kind of beat around the bush that there's something happening, that's a motivation as well, but get them to talk a little bit more. So by asking them those questions leads to helping more clients and spend less time chasing leads and more time closing deals.
And less time asking your broker why my house is not
And less
selling.
time, yeah, because we've got those sellers that are just testing the market, and you just wasted 6 months of your time by trying to get this house to sell when they had no intention of selling anyways because they didn't have a motivation. They were just looking for a certain price tag. That's not a great motivated seller to work with. And when you have a seller that's looking for just the right price, but they don't have anywhere that they're moving or any motivation, they're just going to take their house off the market in 6 months and you just got fired and wasted a lot of time. I'm sure I see some heads bobbing because we've all done it. So if you do have those, just don't waste time on it. Just put it on the market and do your weekly call, but don't spend all your energy on it.
You should always ask one more question.
What's that one?
On scale 1 to 10.
Yep.
10 means absolutely beautiful. Where does your house stand?
Mm-hmm.
And they'll say 9.
Oh.
That's or 7 or 8. They say, that's excellent, no matter what they say. Okay. And then they say 2.
Yeah.
And they say, okay, what would make it to 10? And they say 9. What would make it to 10? They need some painting, we have an old carpet, it's a little beat up.
Mm-hmm.
A bathroom needs some
But you tell me about the
renovation.
motivation.
And they told you 9.
Mm-hmm.
So now you know they know what needs to be done. They already know their house is planned.
Yeah. When it's not selling.
No, that's
No,
before going on the
he's getting it prepped for the listing after they've
Gotcha.
determined motivation, then they're getting it prepped.
Okay. The
Yeah.
follow-up question.
This is like the advanced part. Once you, yeah.
There you go.
For
Advanced
sellers,
sales should.
Will it be helpful to ask when they are planning to have the house listed?
When?
When?
Yeah.
Because sometimes you might be planning.
Yeah, I think it's good to ask when, but this one's saying, where are you moving? Because if they're like, oh, I don't know, I'm just going to sell it and figure it out. Like, that's like, they're just going to sell it. And
You want to get
hope.
inside their brain and figure out what are they daydreaming about? What are they?
Like, are you
what's on their
moving?
vision
Where are you
board? Like you
going?
want to get them to talk about the story, and through that, it's going to come out kind of a timeline of when they want.
No one's going to sell their house if they don't know where they're going.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not just going to sell my house and be like, oh, yeah, I'm just going to sell it and then
what
figure it
happens.
out. Like, that's just not the reality.
They might be contemplating, okay, maybe I will move to Calgary next year.
That's right.
But that's a motivation. If they're like, hey, I'm
Yeah.
selling because I'm moving to Calgary next year to be closer to my
And
kids.
it's hard
That's
as a
motivation.
realtor. I can't convince you to move to Calgary. Once you've decided you're going to move to Calgary,
moving
then
to
I can
Calgary.
step in and help you achieve that goal. But
Exactly.
a lot of times, realtors get stuck in this like life therapy kind of wheel. Like, should I move to Calgary? Should I move to Brampton? Like, where should I go? And you're like, I'm not here to like help
I
you
don't
make a
know.
life decision. They kind of have to go through that on their own. But I have agents right now that are spinning the reels, going from city to city to city because their client doesn't know where they want to move, and that's really hard to navigate. So they really got to dig deep and kind of figure out where they want to live.
You should also ask one more question if you have guts. Okay.
If you've got
So when I come over, if you feel comfortable and confident that I could sell your home, would you be ready to sign the listing at that time?
Yeah.
And if they say no, you just don't show up.
No, this is no. Are you talking to more than one agent for the job of selling?
Mm-hmm.
Then they say, yeah, I'm talking to other agents. So at least you know in advance.
That's good to know.
Or there's sometimes people say, I'll have to think about it. We never signed the deal. I understand. You never thought.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you sign? Why would then you pick up?
We should do a listing workshop. Let's have Shiv come and tell us all his scripts and secrets, all your questions. We want to know.
Yeah.
It could be a whole listing workshop
I
day.
can do the scripts for you.
I know, exactly.
I'm the best in scripts.
Yeah,
Exactly. We could do that.
There's Floyd Wickman had a script too. He said that if your property didn't sell, what would your plans be?
I'm going to stay.
That's
And they say if I don't get my price, I'm not going to sell. Then
Red flag.
then don't be spending money on staging.
staging. Yeah,
Just photography and then, yeah.
that's true.
Just say I'm just trying the market. If I get what I want, then that's great. But if I don't, then
That's a
Yeah.
red flag. We should have a red flag class. The client says this, red,
Red
flag,
flag.
or green flag.
That's true.
going back on shifting there. So this is like Mike Ferry and Floyd Wickman and all the trainers out there. These are things you get, right? So so it.
I always ask if they say they want to pay less commission, would you charge same commission as the other agent, 4%?
Yeah.
I said, let me ask you. If we both do the job free, absolutely free, no commission, who would you hire? They say, I'll hire you. I said, you're telling me you won't even hire me. Pay him 40%.
I like that one.
Are you out of your mind?
Yeah. So you won't even do it for free. Yeah.
That's true. Cool.
So you gotta have excitement when you talk. You can't say you won't hire me and you want to pay 4%. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
So everything you have to have a feeling in there.
Fair.
Cool. I don't know if did you guys introduce Udia before my time? It's my first meeting with him, but you've been here
He's
before.
fresh.
So just
He's
welcoming
fresh.
Udia if you haven't already. I'm sorry if you did already. So welcome. You have to do a little wave. Remember, today is your RRSP deadline as well. Kind of like crept up there, but if you're contributing to your RRSPs, today is the last day to do that. So make sure you get a hold of your financial person. I don't have anything else.
Only last thing on Wednesday, Varan and his team, I don't even think Varan's presenting, but 2 other mortgage people will be coming to present on behalf of them. I sent out an email, but there's a lot of different mortgage checks for complicated clients, high net worth clients, pre-construction mortgages and stuff like that. I'll send out an email with more details on it, but that's happening Wednesday at 10:30. There will be lunch here as well. So if that motivates you to come in person, there will be food, right? Food?
Yeah, well, look at those eyes. They're like, ooh, food.
So yeah, 10:30, 11,
When is that?
10:30 on Wednesday. Free food and a mortgage info session right after. But you have to
10:30.
attend the
The
session.
food's at
Oh yeah, sorry, it's at
10:30.
10:30. 10:30 the food.
You have to be here.
Yeah. But I think there's someone come from BMO and another person. So it'll be like a nice mortgage info session. We did it last year.
Mortgage.
There'll be 3 total. Varan and 2 other people.
Remo and
I have to check. I'll send an email.
that's fine.
Yeah, it's another.
Check email and-
Oh, good. Well, 10:30 on Wednesday.
Kathy will find out.
Perfect. I think that's it.
Cool. Anything else from anyone? You have listings you want to talk about? Any tales from the streets? Questions? Anything online to online people? No? Cool. Happy birthday to Sanic. There's Costco treats in the back room here. His favorite, not his favorite treats, but his favorite wholesaler who is not Canadian, but that's okay.
Some free Costco samples in the other room.
Anything online? There is okay. Okay, good. Okay, have a good week. We'll see you next week. Take care. Bye.